Lesson 2-2 Part 1, Rounding Whole Numbers. Our learning goal is to round whole numbers. So make sure you push pause and write this information in your math journal. And push play when you're ready to go on. This is the rounding poem that one of your teachers may use, but all of us probably have a different poem that we use in our own classroom. This one says, find your number. So if we had a number like 4,342, and by find your number, it may say to round your number to the nearest hundreds place. So to find your number, I always have my kids underline the digit that they're rounding. So if I said nearest hundreds place, I'm going to underline the digit in the hundreds place. Look next door. For my look next door, I always have the kids circle the digit behind the one that they're rounding. And that's a 4. And it says 4 or less, just ignore. 5 or more, add 1 more. And I always use if it's 5 or more, give it a shove. If it's 4 or below, leave it alone. And in this case, since it's 4, we're going to leave the 3 alone. So we will have 4,300, and what's circled is going to become a 0, and so is the next digit. And it says the rest become zeros, nothing more. So that's the poem kind of with the steps to help you with that. Vocabulary and notes. It's going to be important that you write vocabulary in your math journal and you go ahead and write this information down as well. Once you get it wrote down, you may push play again. But it says rounding, replacing a number with the closest multiple of 10, 100, 1,000, etc. Rounding is based on knowing the halfway point between those multiples of 10. And the key is the word nearest tells you that you should be rounding, so pay attention to that. So push pause and then push play when you're ready to go on. Here's some place value practice, and it's a review over what we've done already. It says to write down the digit in the tens place. So as we look at this number, 45,123, the 3 is in the ones, the 2 is in the tens place. So the digit in the tens place would be the 2. The next one it's going to ask you is it says to write down the digit in the thousands place. And our number is 620,933. So the digit in the thousands place would be ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. The digit would be a 0. Our next one says to write down the digit in the 100,000 place. And our number is 508,395,788. And so the digit in the 100,000s place, ones, tens, hundred, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. So the digit in the 100,000s place would be a 3. I'm sure you're all pros at that by now. Here's our rounding poem that you're going to see continually throughout the PowerPoint. So if you ever need to go back to see that to help you, feel free. But here's going to start our rounding practice. And the first thing this is going to ask us is to round to the nearest tens place. So why don't you go ahead and just push pause and round that number to the nearest tens place. Remember, if you need to go back to the rounding poem, you can. When you're ready to go on, just push play. If you wrote 36,830, you've got the correct answer. I do want to go ahead and look at this problem. It said to round to the nearest tens place. So here is the 2. It's in the tens place. And the 5 is the digit behind it. So I'm going to circle that because that's going to tell us if we're going to give the 2 a shove or let it go. Since it's 5 or more, we're going to give it a shove. So we're going to have 36,800. The 2 is going to become a 3. And what is circled is going to become a 0. So we have the same answer as we were supposed to. So good job. Our next practice problem says round to the tens place. And we did that. So here's our next practice problem. It says round to the 10,000s place. We have 375,345. So go ahead and push pause and round it to the nearest 10,000s place. When you're ready, push play. So did you write 380,000? If you did, great job. If not, we're going to go ahead and just walk you through it. We need to find the digit in the 10,000s place, which would be the 7. And then we're going to circle the digit behind it, which is 5. Since it's 5 or more, we're going to give the 7 a shove. So we're going to have 3, the 7's going to become an 8, the 5's going to become a 0, and so are the digits after that. So we have 380,000. Our rounding poem. Here's your next practice problem. It says round to the hundreds place. 120,243. So push pause and go ahead and work the problem out. When you're ready, push play. If you wrote 120,200, you're correct. How we would go about this is you're going to find the digit in the hundreds place, which is the 2. We're going to underline it. And you're going to circle the digit behind it, which is a 4. And if it's 5 or above, give it a shove. If it's 4 or below, leave it alone. So that means we're going to leave the 2 alone. So I'm going to come over and write 120,000. The 2 we're going to leave alone. The 4, since it's circled, is going to become a 0, and so is the digit after it. So our numbers and our answer match. And now rounding with 9s. There's no need to worry about rounding with 9s. It's just the same thing, except the next number, if you have to round up, after 9 is 10. So it's just like adding a 0 and then carrying the 1. Rounding with 9s is a lot like carrying a number when you're adding 2 numbers together vertically. Use the rounding strategies and it will be a piece of cake. So we're going to try. So round to the hundreds place. 58,962. And since this may be new, we're going to go ahead and do this together. So in the hundreds place, if you see, we have a 9. And behind the 9, we have a 6. So that circled digit is going to tell us how we're going to round it. So if it's 5 or above, we're going to give it a shove. If it's 4 or below, we're going to let it go. Well, since it's a 6, we need to give the 9 a shove. Well, after 9 is 10. So 9 becomes 10. So here's our 0, and I'm going to carry my 1. So 8 plus 1 is 9. So I have 59,000. That's a 0. The 6 is going to become a 0, and so is the 2. So we have 59,000. So it is a piece of cake. Just remember, it's like putting your 0 down and carrying your 1. Yay, we're right. Woohoo! There's your rounding poem again. And then now it's time to challenge yourself. So write challenge in your math journal and go ahead and work out number 1, 2, and 3. And when you get back to class, you'll be able to check yourself to see how you did. And then congratulations, you have finished topic 2-2 part 1, rounding whole numbers.